And we are live. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Healing She Got Faith show. This is Lily, She Got Faith, your founder and host of Healing She Got Faith, and you're listening to us on Total Entertainment Radio. Happy Monday. I'm so excited to be here with you all. I got some really special guests in the building, so I cannot wait for y'all to see them. I really hope that March has been extraordinary for y'all. But will y'all, my audience, help me bring on the new era young lords of the Connecticut chapter? Hi, y'all.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. So if y'all want to start off by introducing yourselves.
Chastity, do you want to go first?
Okay, so my name is my name is Chastity, and I'm actually the state treasurer for the Connecticut chapter.
I'm Melissa, and I'm the community outreach in the Connecticut chapter.
And I'm Cinthia. I'm the co-cacique for the Connecticut chapter.
Yes, welcome, welcome. Thank you all so much for your time. And we are also here celebrating Women's Month. So we got all the ladies in the building. We're going to talk about the young lords and who they are. And we're going to get into some real deep conversation about the organization, about being women, about being in this type of organization in 2022 with everything we got going on. So we're going to get deep into that. But y'all know we cannot move forward without letting our guests do our icebreaker, because, that's just what Healing She Got Faith is all about. So whoever wants to go first,
I'll go
let
first.
me know. Okay, Chaz. And then so my audience, me and Chaz are related. We're cousins. That's my little cousin. So yeah, just let me know how you want me to cut the deck, how many cards you want me to look into, and yeah, I'm all ears.
Okay, let's go from the back and let's get 2 cards.
2, 1, 2. You want me to pick 2 cards, or you just want number 2?
I want the number 2.
Okay. So you got releasing anger. Anger is a natural emotion, but I recognize that holding on to it can be toxic for me. I look at the person who has caused me pain and see them as a human being they are. I release the anger. I feel and freeing myself and expanding to love. So ponder on that. By the way, y'all, so this is actually a new deck of cards. It is called Mindful Message, courtesy of Amazon. So I'll put this deck of cards in the show notes. So whoever wants to go first, or second, I should say, let me know how you want me to split the deck up.
I could go second.
Okay.
Pick the 12th card.
From the front or back?
Front.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Gratitude. I love acknowledging all the little things I'm grateful for, no matter what I have going on. I always have things to be thankful for. Whenever I'm feeling upset, I can fill up a page with the things I appreciate. This begins to shift my mood and focus onto that which brings me joy. We got anger, we got gratitude. Okay. Alyssa.
Yikes, I'm a little nervous. I'm just going to go with one from the middle.
One from the middle. Playful. I go about life playfully and take things lightly. I can turn any hard day or heavy burden into a fun adventure. Why spend time upset when there is so much fun to be had? Okay. Anger, gratitude, playful. Let me see. Let me pick me a card. Let's see. Creator of happiness. I reclaim my power to create my own joy and happiness. It is not dependent on any outside source or individual. Therefore, it cannot be taken away. It can always be found within me. Period. Okay. So, do these cards resonate with y'all?
Definitely does. Mine did.
Yeah. Okay, Chaz. Let's start with you. How does it resonate with you?
I'm typically an angry person. Trying to change that.
Okay, straight to the point. She's lit. I know where I'm at, and this is what it is. That card was meant for you then. Cynthia, what about you?
Can you read my card all over again?
Gratitude. I love acknowledging all little things I'm grateful for. No matter what I have going on, I always have things to be thankful for. Whenever I'm feeling upset, I can fill up a page with the things I appreciate. This begins to shift my mood and focus onto that, which brings me joy.
It helps me be grounded,
Grounded. Yes.
more humble for the things that I have because it could be easily taken away.
Yes. I love that. Yes. Alyssa, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I probably, to a fault, a little playful sometimes. I tend to make even things that I probably shouldn't a joke because it's easier to deal with things when you know, than to sit there and harp on something like Chastity's card where you're angry. Like I'm an angry person too. I've been an angry person for a long time, and I don't like to be an angry person. So I think that playfulness card is a good thing and a bad thing, depending on the circumstance.
Okay. I can appreciate that. Mine is creator of happiness. I reclaim my power to create my own joy and happiness. It is not dependent on any outside source or individual, therefore it cannot be taken away. It can always be found within me. This is something I'm working on. I think that in the past I've given a lot of people power over my emotions. And so I'm at a place in my life where I'm really understanding emotions and that like happiness is a choice. Like I can choose to be happy in a situation. I'm also very big on like acknowledging my emotions. So like I love right now that like you all are like y'all know where y'all at emotionally and just working on that. So it definitely resonates with me. These cards are good, and y'all the first people to do that deck. So I'm so excited. Yes, I love when like guests come on and they're the first people to have the deck. Like I literally just opened it before we came on air. So yes. So before we move on to our next thing, would you all like to just kind of explain your position in the organization? I know a little bit later on in the show we're going to actually explain what the organization is, what it stands for. But do you guys just want to kind of give a little bit of background of what you all do within the organization, or just any information before we dive deep into it?
Well, mine is pretty obvious. I'm the state treasurer, so I handle money as much as I can. Beyond that, we have a lot of freedom because we are a little bit of a small chapter. We've all been rocking out with each other for a long time. I've been part of it since the beginning, so I'm able to do fun stuff like be part of this radio show instead of our actual cacique, who did not want to do it. He loved the fact that he has a bunch of women to do it for him. But my main responsibility is, getting people's dues and having an opinion on what we spend the money on. But I don't do too much just yet.
Okay.
Cinthia could probably explain the community outreach aspect better than I can, to be honest, because that whole with COVID and all that stuff, we kind of got put on hold with me actually taking over Cynthia's role as the community outreach person, where she's the co-cacique now. So eventually I'll be able to explain more about that. But what they call me is the activist of the group more so than anything. So I guess that would probably be my actual role currently, where like I'm constantly trying to get people to like go to events that are happening, whether it be, Black Lives Matter issues, social justice issues. We're not supposed to really follow complete politics, but any issues that fit into our little realm, I guess. Like we were out there for no war, an anti-war demonstration this past Sunday and stuff like that. And I mean, Cinthia has a lot of the same connections that I do, but between the two of us, we managed to get a decent crew there. And actually 2 Sundays ago, we had 3 events all in one day, three different crews all out in different spots. I was so excited. It was great. I was pumped.
That was pretty cool because I got to go to something too.
That's
So I was so
awesome.
pumped because like I'm always out there and I go out by myself a lot of times, you know what I mean? And it's not like that's just because that's what I did before I even was part of this crew, you know what I mean? So now to get like everybody finally like get everybody involved and to know like where we fit in that mentality is it's good to see.
Yes, I love that. Well, congratulations. That's huge.
Now, Cinthia, you explain what I'm supposed to do.
So before I took Kokatike, I was a community outreach specialist. Basically, it is reaching out to different nonprofits, organization, any grassroots to mayor, basically to try to get resources or donations or, partner up to do events with them. Same thing with, like what is Alyssa's doing, partner up with protests and stuff like that. That's kind of basically the community outreach. It's a very long and stressful job, but
Lots of networking.
it's worth it. So my position is the second in command of the organization. I help Tokasike out, and what I do is I basically, I do my own thing. Everybody has their own town specifically that they run.
Okay.
So, it's just making sure everybody is, doing their job. And that's it.
So is your position like having a director and like a co-director or okay.
Yeah, so it's like president and co-president.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much for sharing and thank you so much for opening up. I'm definitely excited to finish this conversation. We're gonna take our first break but when we come back, we are gonna talk a little bit about grief.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Y'all are hilarious. All right, and that's it. Go. All right, and welcome back to the Healing She Got Faith show. We are so excited because we have the New Era Young Lords of the Connecticut chapter in the building, y'all. Okay, we got 3 phenomenal women because y'all know it's still Women's History Month. Y'all know I'm a social worker, so y'all know I'm down with the advocacy and philanthropy and just community work. So to have these 3 phenomenal women, y'all, I'm super, 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 super excited. Okay, so coming on the show, which thank you all again for coming. Coming on the show, I ask every guest the $1,000,000 question. Okay. Now it's 3 of y'all, and this is the first time we've ever had multiple guests on the show. So either one of y'all can talk or all 3 of y'all can talk. Just however it's flowing. But the question is describe a time that you grieved and how did it affect you? And you can talk about who supported you, what that looked like. Did it lead you to your passion? Did it lead you to the organization? Whatever comes to your heart. I know that's a loaded question, but literally just speak from your mind. So whoever wants to go, we all ears.
Jess, did you still want to take this one or no?
In just a moment.
Okay.
I apologize. Okay. Do you mind repeating the question just so I make sure I answer it completely?
You're muted.
Got it. Describe a time that you grieved and how did it affect you and what did that look like?
So this one's a pretty hard one. About almost 5 years ago, I lost my mother. And unfortunately, shortly after losing my mother, God didn't even give us a year. My aunt, which happens to be my cousin Lisa's mother, also passed away. They were actually best friends too. They loved each other. I think they planned to go right after each other. I really think they did. That was a very hard time. And around the time that was happening was when my sister was starting a new relationship. So actually, the cacique of the organization, he sort of introduced Janie and I
Mm-hmm.
to it as a way to sort of channel our grief into something positive. Anyone who knew my mother knew that my mother did a lot of stuff for the community. She was constantly taking in everybody's kids. Our house was always full. Anyone who was hungry or needed anything, she fed them, and that was just the person that she was. So we grew up seeing her be that kind of person, and without her being here, we wanted some sort of way to continue on her legacy. So it's very important to both of us. So one thing we didn't mention before is my older sister, Janie, is also a council member in the Connecticut chapter. So we really are all women on here.
I love that. Yes. So it's
Mm.
definitely all women running that chapter, which is absolutely amazing. And yes, dealing with the grief and dealing with the loss of my aunt, which is Chastity's mom, and then less than 16 months later, dealing with the death of my mom, which both of them were extremely surprised. I mean, death is always surprising, but like both of them was just kind of out of the ordinary. Like we didn't see it coming for neither one of them. I know I could speak probably for both of us. We honestly thought they were going to pull through and,
Right.
survive. We were going to have this wonderful miracle story. And then when they left,
Mm.
we was like, okay, so y'all ain't want to be here no more. That's cool.
Yeah, my mother was only 53 when she passed away. So it truly, just to put it into perspective, I was only 23. My mother was 53.
Yeah.
It was not something that we were prepared for at all. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Yeah, and I think that's good to speak to as well because my mom was only 55, and then when I think about my father passing, he was only 45. So to see death at that young of an age, and just like your mom, like I think it just ran in the family. We always had people coming in and out. We always had our door open and
Hmm.
things of that nature. So most definitely, it
Well, a big thing to point out that the listeners may not know is that both of our parents had to deal with losing their parents young as well. My mother was only
yep,
4 when her mom passed away and 14 when her father passed away. So they
yep.
pretty much only had each other, which is when you're dealing with a bunch of foster kids, they you make family.
Right.
It's not always what you came from. They made family.
Right.
So
Yeah, that is something to speak about because our grandmother was only 36 when she passed away. So my mom
yeah,
was 8, your
very young.
mom was 4. Yeah. And then our
Theo
grandfather,
Tony was only 4.
yep, yep. And then our grandfather was in his 40s, maybe early 50s when he passed away. So most definitely been around grief and death a very long time in this family.
It is.
So most definitely. Do Cynthia or Alyssa, do y'all have any feedback or anything?
Not to like, I don't know, I don't want to like take away from your guys' story, but
Oh,
it
not at
definitely,
all. Not at all.
it definitely does. Like, I didn't like grow up. I made a lot of like not bad choices. I was a troubled child. I was a troubled youth. And so I chose interesting paths and I chose interesting friends, and lots of them are gone now, and um mostly due to death. Some are probably in jail and stuff like that, but mostly due to death, like drugs and all that stuff. And I didn't necessarily grow up like that. My dad is an addict, and but I didn't really have to see that too much because my mom kept me away from that situation. But like I spent a lot of time in like residentials and things like that. So it was very like I wasn't grieving death necessarily, but I was grieving my friends, and I was grieving the childhood that I thought that I was supposed to have and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so I think that seeing a lot of the other people that were in those group homes and stuff like that and hearing their stories also changed my perspective on a lot of things because I was never like what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, I wasn't like overprivileged by any means, but I didn't go without. That's what I'm trying to say. But so when I would see other people and I would hear their stories and I would talk to them about, whatever it is, drugs, this, that, the other thing, like when you're 15, 16 years old, like that really changes how you view the life that you grew up in. And it's I think that changed, or that at least inspired me to want to help people because I've always said I don't know what I want to do with my life. I just know that I want to help people. And I'm 32, and I still say I don't know what I want to do with my life, but I just know that I want to help people. I know that I want to be a sign language interpreter someday, and I know that I want to be fluent in Spanish as well. So I got that covered. But what do I do with those things? I don't know.
Yes.
I think that everybody has everybody's kind of got some part of a story that helps them want to be motivated, to do
Yes.
good things.
I absolutely believe that, and I love that you talked about like grief not in a death kind of way, because the segment that you guys are actually on is grief beyond death, and that's what we talk about. Like yes, we get grief through death, but we also get grief like things we don't no longer have, things we never had. Like a lot of us grieved just our life before COVID, or like you said, like being in a home, you're grieving stuff that you thought you should have had, but you didn't. And we just don't live in a society where we learn about grief. We don't live in a society where we truly understand what it like. How are we supposed to handle this? What is it supposed to look like? And just like you said, at 16, like what does that look like? And who's gonna teach me this? So like I love that. And I'm with you too. Like I've never known what I wanted to do. I just know I'm doing something. Like
It seems like you got it together.
it's questionable.
From over here, it looks great.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I want to help people. I also love community. Like I love community. I like it as a unit, and just being able to have that community aspect, I think is so much more. But growing up, it was hard. Like everybody wanted to be teachers, rappers, police officers, and here I was. I was like, I mean, as long as it's people, I'm pretty much there. Like, so yes,
Yes,
most
absolutely.
definitely. And then, Chaz, we could probably talk a lot about like just the pain we've endured in the family, and just how much we probably witnessed as a unit, like just within ourselves, not even outside of everything else, but just all the trauma and health issues and family issues we've dealt with, and what that even looks like, us growing up. And I always tell people like we grow up so confused. We grew up so confused. But yes, I appreciate y'all both for sharing that and just being open and honest, and just really like pouring out your heart, because I know my audience is real big on just learning about, what is this grief thing? What does that look like? Nobody has taught us. And then you got this crazy lady that's like, we're going to talk about grief. Okay. Like that's it. That's it. That's all. So I appreciate y'all for definitely opening up. We're going to take another break, but when we come back, we are going to learn more about the new era young lords. What are they, or what are they doing? What is it? We're gonna get into that conversation. Okay, so make sure you come back. And we are back with the Healing She Got Faith show here on Total Entertainment Radio. Yes, so we have our wonderful guest. It's Women's Month, and do y'all see this screen though? Do you see all these fine women on here? Okay, just listen. We about that life, okay? So yes. So whoever wants to go first, can you guys just give us a little background of the Young Lords? Who are they? What do they stand for? What type of group are they, or organization? If I've been using the wrong terminology, check me, let me know so I can correct myself. So yeah, whoever wants to go first, please feel free.
Chastity?
Um, well, I'm gonna talk a little bit about how the new era Young Lords came to be. But as for like a little more history on the original Young Lords and a little more information on that, one of my other colleagues is gonna take that one.
So the Young Lords was a Chicago-based street gang that became a civil and human rights organization. The group aimed to fight for neighborhood empowerment and self-determination for Puerto Rico, Latinos, and colonized people. The Young Lords was founded by Jose Chacha Jimenez, September 23rd, 1968.
Oh, okay, nice. What is the one thing that attracted you to the organization? And anybody can answer.
I honestly was looking for something to do, and I've always loved working with the community, but I don't have a lot of people in my life that I saw actually doing the type of work I always wanted to do. Um, so when the New Era Young Lords was being founded, it was really just a small group of people all sitting in a room just talking about our history, talking about, Huey P. Newton, Fred Hampton, that sort of thing, Black Panthers, the original Young Lords. And that's always been a history that's been very interesting to me. I know your brother and my cousin TJ and I have shared books back and forth, and
Yep.
we've spoke about learning the history a little bit and actually going to travel and see things for ourselves. But I love that we were modernizing something that already existed and something that had a lot of success and influence. And, like Cinthia said, it was created in the 1960s, but people today know who the Young Lords were.
Yep. Yep.
If you know who Fred Hampton was, you should know who the Young Lords were.
Yes, absolutely. I love that you brought that up because I do like a lot of times when I talk to people, I'll say like, yeah, like I have family in the New Era Young Lords, and they always be like the people with Fred Hampton. I'm like, yeah, like that's exactly who it is. But it's cool to like have y'all here because for me, and maybe it's the state that I'm in and just the area, like a lot of people feel like it's so far away, like the concept of the organization still being alive and still actually doing stuff. And y'all do a lot of stuff, whether it be the New York chapter or y'all. I know y'all chapter because obviously I talk to Chaz a lot. I know y'all do a lot of stuff. But I think like for people to be like, so they're still around. So like, what has your experience been with being a part of the New Era Young Lord? And I don't know if you can, but is it like y'all have a comparison to like the originals?
We can't compare to originals because we wasn't there, but I just want to say, I'm definitely grateful and happy to be in the organization. We're like family.
I love that.
Like I don't know if you could describe family because we don't fight as much.
That's because we don't live near each other.
I came from upstate New York, moved to Connecticut for like about 2 years. I didn't know anybody, nobody. And once I joined, it was like I had my second family. You know what I'm saying? When you're by yourself in a state or somewhere new and you don't have nobody to talk to, you don't have no place to go, no nothing. It's like this was, and our chairman Subi could attest to that because he's like, you guys are my second family. You're my home away from home.
And I want to let you know that Subi, he's part of like the national. He and his wife Tiffany, they're the ones that really got New Era Young Lords started.
Yep.
And just another shout out to another woman in charge, Tiffany.
Yes.
Tiffany,
Okay.
she is it. Tiffany is it for us. Okay. Subi may have been maybe whatever, but Tiffany is all of our go-to, and just took a second to shout her out for that. But we really
Subi's
are all
the
like
talker. Tiffany's that. It's the same thing with like Ian and Cinthia. Ian's the talker. Cynthia's the one that's like, all right, this is how this is gonna do. We're gonna do it like this. And the same thing with Subi. Subi's just like blah, 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 blah. And Tiffany's like, no, this is what we're doing.
Yes, because behind every strong man, there's a strong woman standing right behind him. Okay.
And lucky for Subi and Ian, they have a whole,
they got a crew
of women behind them.
Yes, I love that. I love that it's like women ran too. So like with the organization, is it only like Puerto Ricans or do you see like other people still trying to come in and come in? How does that Listen,
We
like,
love everybody.
Not me. Sorry.
We love
So
everybody here.
so it's not
No,
only Puerto Ricans. Yeah, we accept everybody, no matter the age, the creed, the gender. We accept everybody. Don't matter nationality. I'm Dominican. Ian is half Puerto Rican, half Mexican. Alyssa is.
I'm just white.
Just,
I'm sorry. That's it.
we
I'm like
have
a whole mix of everything in Europe. It's fine.
we have
We're
Haitian
just gonna X
members.
that part out.
We have Jamaican members. I mean, we we embrace, because it's not only us that's suppressed. It's every culture. It's every
but we also
nationality.
work like
It's a
we
class
work
issue.
alongside.
yeah.
We work alongside a lot
It's
of other
poor
organizations
people.
as well.
Absolutely. It's like, and I think that's what people kind of tend to forget or not realize, especially because of like some of the slogans that we use nowadays, like Black Lives Matter. Like everyone's like, why do only Black Lives matter? And it's like, that's clearly not what we're saying. Like, it's just they're the most oppressed, well,
Yeah.
indigenous, that's really complicated. Let me not say the most, but you know what I mean? And I think that people get so stuck on like that one part of it where they're like, they just look at this little, their blinders are so right in front of their face that that's the only thing that they hear. They hear that one word, they say black, they say this, they say that. When back in the day there was the Black Panthers, there was, is it the Young Patriots or the,
Yes,
I can
Young
never,
The Young
okay.
Patriots.
Young Patriots, Young Lords. It was all different people. They all came,
Yep.
correct. They all came together, and it was supposed to be something of a rainbow coalition. And I believe that that's kind of our goal in nowadays, especially because it's like, especially like nowadays, everything is so much more progressive, which is awesome.
Yep.
I love it. I love it so much. But if we are going to be if we only allow certain people in, then how are we supposed to affect change with all people? You know what I mean? And when it really does come down to it, is it's a class issue. It's the 1% against the poor people. You know what I mean? Like the people in power against the people that are out here just doing everyday life. Like it's not necessarily specific to any certain color, creed, whatever, gender, but there's definitely class issues and social issues for sure.
Yes, I love that. Go ahead, Chaz.
Another thing is, as it stands right now in March 2020, we're interstate now. It really did. New Era Young Lords started in Connecticut the way the original Young Lords started in Illinois. But like you said, we're in New York. We're in Chicago again. Definitely, there's a Chicago chapter, and they do a lot. They really are a family and a team over there too. We're really happy for them. We have some people actually in Puerto Rico. Cynthia,
We're
where else
Florida.
are we?
We're in Florida. We was in Rhode Island, but
Rhode Island moved to Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's Chicago. There's Ohio. I think we have like
Chicago,
5
Florida.
or 6 chapters altogether for right
And
now.
we even got to work with original Young Lords as well. They've come to our meetings. We've got to meet them in person and stuff like that. So it's been really awesome.
Yeah, we have like a group chat where you can talk to some OGs and stuff like that too. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've given us actual advice and told us stories, and it's been a real privilege. It really has been.
Yeah.
We're supposed to go up.
Awesome.
To do some kind of a ceremony for Chapte at some point too, which would be really awesome for the experience.
Yeah. That sounds real awesome. And I say that because one, Alyssa, you broke it down so well, just to like who's invited, like who can come, and just the issues that you all are really just trying to hit head on. And one, I just like to say the white girl said that, okay, because y'all be coming for me. I see I got a white girl on the show. Thank you.
I'm not usually proud about that, so I'll take it right now.
I'm like, listen, that's a whole nother story, but we broke it down, which I think is great for people to understand, because I do think that is it's not that I think. We know that is a part of history that people do not talk about. We know that there's a part of history that that we're not taught. You know, I tell people all the time and I think I'm playing, but I really cannot wait to see the textbooks for this generation from like 2020 on up, because
Yeah.
hopefully the right people write it. Because
Yep.
what we grew up on, unless it was for people like us, like Chad said, like there's many times where we just pass books back and forth, whether it be mental health, whether it be what's it called, war on race books. Like we have to literally educate and teach ourselves. So it's important to have organizations like the New Area Boys. It's important to have people like us who just really enjoy community and the advocacy aspect, because I know we've all grown up like and finally got to an age and was like, y'all taught us what? Now, why did that make sense to teach that? You know, I'm seeing a lot of things
I was
now.
like, that's not even what happened. That's not
It's
even
not
what happened.
exactly, and that's the other thing. Like, there's a thing going on social media right now where like they're teaching us that like the media purposely makes people look older. So like Martin Luther King purposely putting pictures in black and white to make us think that it was longer than what it was. But come to find out, Betty White was older than half the people that we saw assassinated in this country.
Yep.
So
Ruby Bridges is 67 years old.
Ruby Bridges, yep. She looks good too.
7. Yes, she does.
She
It
looks
makes me
really good.
so angry. I'm like, yeah, that's history, right? That's history.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
her
and
life.
we're taught that it happened so long ago, and literally, like in perspective, it wasn't. So it's important to have these organizations, and it's important to have the access to it, because of the things that you all are doing, people are constantly being educated. People are
Yep.
constantly. How has it been having an organization like the global revolution that happened? Because you know we had the global pandemic, but alongside it, the global revolution popped itself back up because like the people of the community kept getting killed by the people who's supposed to protect us, which you know that's a different story for another day. But how is it being in this organization and working through this global pandemic? I mean, revolution.
I think that that's honestly kind of what brought me to the Young Lords, because I was trying to do anything and everything that I could, running around, going to this protest, going to that rally, whatever was going on. I was doing anything that I could at the time. But I could never find, like, I tried to create my own group. I tried to do, I don't know if it's a Connecticut thing, I don't know if it's a New England thing. We're just not always that friendly with each other, and it's like even if we're on the same team, it felt like we were in a competition type thing. And then I can't remember if I met Cinthia first. I know I met you first through TikTok, but I can't remember if it was you or Lobo first. But either way, we started talking through TikTok actually, and then we met in real life, and it was that's an interesting story. I don't know if we want to get into that, but
I say tell it. I like stories like that. That's a good use of social media.
My passion overtook my body a little bit the first time that I met Cinthia in the New Era Young Lords in real life. There was a lady that it was called May Day. Do you want to give a history on May Day? Because I don't remember what it is real quick.
So May Day was created in New Haven, Connecticut, regarding the racial issues of, I believe, 5 Black young Black Panthers that were falsely arrested or falsely accused, and it was really big back then. I don't remember the exact year, but it was huge. So
it's like May 1st. I remember that. So we're trying to bring attention to that, and it was donations. There was, I want to say, there was food out there, there was clothes, there's everything, you know what I mean? There was just people everywhere, homeless people getting anything that they needed and whatever, blah blah blah. All of a sudden this white lady walks up with a megaphone and a speaker and a
American
megaphone
flag.
and this like shopping cart thing, like, the ones that whatever. Anyway, So she walks up and I just see Lobo walk over and I was like, I have a feeling that I need to follow him. And then I did. And then all of a sudden there was like 100 people following us. And the lady was just, I don't even know what the heck she was talking about.
She
Her
was
shirt said
saying
something about
something
free.
about the oil or the pipeline is the result for immigrant children.
Listen,
Or something.
her shirt said something about free our children. Her sign said something about vaccines and passports. Like, I don't know where this woman was coming from. I could not figure it out. Either way, she just needed to leave. It was not her spot to be in, whatever. And so I assisted her in leaving. And that was
Period.
that was that was the first time that they were like, oh, that little white girl's crazy. Okay, I think I like her. But actually Ian, the cacique, was like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. He was like, you made me a little nervous about letting you in the chapter after that shit. And I was like, listen, all I wanted her to do was leave, like, because she kept on putting her cart in between us, so that, like, we never put our hands on her, we never did anything, you know, just leave. In the background you just hear all these people, afuera, afuera, afuera. It was fantastic. I loved it. But so then the next thing I know, she says whatever it was, and then I just noticed that her hand wasn't on the cart, so I grabbed the cart and I left with the cart. And that was when she made her exit as well. It was beautiful.
Wow.
But
okay, with the passion.
The thing that I think actually led me to actually wanting to continue to work with this group was the discipline. There's a meeting, I mean, and don't get me wrong, we have fun, we mess around. I talk to them like I talk to, well, actually, no, I talk to them different. I talk to my family, but you get it. I talk to you better than I talk to my family, probably. But, so, like, it was very, like, we have hats, we have swag, you know what I mean? Like, it's very, when we're coming, you know that we're coming, and there's a meeting every Friday. And if you're not, I mean, not that you're like, you're not there, you're going to get in trouble or anything, but, you know, they're very understanding. But there's it's an organization, it's legitimate, there's follow through, there's people on top, there's, you know what I mean? Whereas before it was just like, all right, let's go to this event, let's go do this, let's go do that, we gotta go make some noise over here on this street corner, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I love doing that too, do not get me wrong, that's like kind of my favorite thing to do, you know, like just going out there and making noise and not irritating people, but like, you're paying attention if you're mad at me for standing here, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. But you know, but this group was just, it's a very different vibe. And for the most part, like, Ian really does, he gives us, like, me and Cinthia, I want to say, put the majority of that women's rights, what the heck, what am I trying to say?
The women's rights
march. Yeah. We did. I mean, he just said it's not my bag. You guys do it. You know what I mean? And we did. So, and that turned out really, really well. So it's just, there's a level of seriousness in this group, I guess. And that's probably what actually brought me to want to continue being here and feeling like I'm actually doing what I wanted to be doing since this whole social justice revolution started.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was beautiful. That touched me. So we're gonna go take a break. When we come back, we're gonna finish this conversation about the New Era Young Lords. So come back. And we are back on Total Entertainment Radio, the Healingshegotfaith show, and we have the New Era Young Lords. So before you all left, before we took a break, we were talking about what keeps you in the organization, and the conversation actually started off with, like, how is it being in an organization like this during the global revolution? So I wanted to kind of continue that conversation. Have there been some experiences, whether it be like just things falling through, or like if people have cyber attacked you, try to bully you, or like, what has there been any negative experience in that aspect? And then how are you all able to deal with that?
we get called the gang like every other day. Like I talk to different organizations and they're like, oh, the gang? Oh, we're not going to talk to you. You guys are a gang. You know what I mean? So it's like we get that aspect, or we get people that don't fit the criteria in the organization, where they don't have that passion, or they have a certain passion, but it's not right for the organization. They'll start bashing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're not selective on who we bring in, but we also want them to respect the organization and the people in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
You gotta vet your people.
Yeah. So it's like if you can't respect none of that, then you can't be a part of this, because we're all one. Not one over the other. We all have respect for each other, and we all, we don't think we're better and bigger than anybody. So I mean, we do get a lot of hate. Like like no tomorrow. Like people create this guy created a fake YouTube called the Young Lords. He called us out to join. Come to find out, he was there to find information about our organization, what we do, and basically to kind of like bash us.
What?
We've also been called anti-white. We've been called anti-white a lot, which is funny because my good friend Alyssa here. But
I've been called a white supremacist myself, so I've been called every single name in the book, and it's all like, wait a second, did you not hear the argument that we were just having? Because that's on you.
We've also been like, at least I've had some people say this towards me. They've accused us of being like very leftist, like very political, very left, and I mean, I don't exactly. I think we pick the more moral or humane approach to everything that's going on. I don't necessarily think we're picking left or right. We try to steer clear of that, of anything, religious wise and all that as well too. We want to help the community. We want to help all people.
If that makes me left, I'll be all the way over there. That's fine.
All the way.
I mean, I had people come up to me who was running for a political party, and I had to turn them down. Because we're not here for just one side. You know what I'm saying? We're here we're here for the community. At the end of the day, our people need to eat. Our people need clothing and shelter.
Yeah.
They need training and education and all that. Like there's a lot of stuff that we're really hoping to get started on.
Exactly. And I do appreciate that you said that, Cinthia, because I do feel like a lot of politicians will pick out certain, even like churches or groups, and try to get endorsements. But I do feel like it has made community organizations look bad, especially recently, because these organizations do support a political representative. And then when things get found out about that political person, the supporters are the ones who get hurt. The supporters are, well, y'all supported this person, so like staying clear, like, you gonna believe and vote who you vote for, but these are our morals, these are our standards, this is what we're gonna follow. I can't endorse you but I think, like, I know in St. Louis, the way that people have kind of gone around that is like, okay, I can't, and I'm not saying this to y'all for y'all to do it, but like what I've seen personally is out here, it's been like, I'm not going to endorse you either way, but we'll teach people how to vote. We'll teach people how to research. We'll teach people how to pick a side, not necessarily like me endorsing you. Or if there's a corrupt person in office right now, we need to get them out. But like, who's the option? So teaching people how to know that, like, this person needs to get out, but we also need to make sure we're putting a better actual person for the community in it. So I think that is something that like activists and other organizations, or if they're up and coming organizations, can take note of, like, okay, you're not affiliated with them, but we do have that duty of teaching people how to educate themselves. So I really appreciate you saying that, because it's something, again, they don't teach us how to do. Like, honestly, until I got older, I never knew about local elections until I started doing the research and learning stuff. And I'm like, oh, we get to vote on a lot of stuff. Why they only teach us about the presidential stuff? Like,
we don't even know who these people are.
That's how they want it.
And it is how they want it. And again, that's why it's important to have these conversations, and it's important to have a group like you all to just be present. Like I am so honored just to have the connection that I do to you all, because one, it's just really dope. Like everything that y'all are doing and everything that y'all are bringing forth and the type of activities that are to come is just really dope. Two, y'all in connection with the OGs of the organization. So it's not like y'all just woke up one day and was like, all right, we're having a meeting on Friday, we're gonna start this thing, but y'all actually have a connection with the original people and with other chapters. And I know like y'all are helping build up other chapters. So I think that's super dope, because again, it's something that it really turned into seeing pain and turning it into passion. Like seeing everything that you have been through, everything you've seen, seeing what's going on in the world, and being like, there has to be an answer, there has to be a solution. We have to fix this. So I definitely like just love that and appreciate everything that like we've talked about and everything that you all have said. We're gonna take one last break, but when we come back, we're gonna see what the new Era Young Lords are up to, how we can contact them, and any last minute things. Welcome back to the Healingshegotfaith show. I'm so sad because we're in our last few minutes of the show. This went by way too fast, y'all. Went by way too fast. But in the last few minutes, I would like you all to kind of tell people where they can find you, how they can contact you. If you guys want to talk about any upcoming events, or if you want to talk about previous events, just kind of let people know where they can reach out, learn more about you. I think that'd be a good thing too, because I'm sure people will want to know, like, where can we learn about you all?
So we have a TikTok, New Era Young Lords, the Facebook, NEYL, New Era Young Lords, the Instagram. We also sell merchandise as well for fundraising our organization.
The IG is, there's a whole bunch of different Instagrams. So if you're looking for specifically the Connecticut chapter, it's New Era Young Lords _CT. But then if you're looking, and this is Instagram, but then if you're looking for the New Era Young Lords as a whole, it's new _era _young _lords. But yes, the Facebook NEYL, the public one. There's also a private one. I had to confirm that before I got on here. That is the public page. And then I guess I'll toot my own horn up for a minute for my TikTok, because I try to post as much as I can too. But mine is Comrade Opposed. That's my TikTok. And then I have a Facebook and a IG as well that are Comrades and Comrades Care. So I try to post all types of events that are on there. I try to post not only local stuff, I try to post everything for the most part, issues that are going on in different communities, and mostly social justice issues is kind of my thing as the activist of the group, I think those are the only ones that I wrote down. I don't think I'm missing anything else.
No.
Okay. And events, we got plenty of events all the time. We're working on our next one. I think we're in the process of we're in the really beginning steps, but we just worked on that anti-war demonstration, and we worked with a whole bunch of groups around here, mostly in the New Haven area. It seemed like most of those groups came from there. There was Cinthia and I went out to Middletown a few weeks ago. Those were a different group. Those are completely new comrades that I didn't even recognize half of them, and they were a whole bunch of old white men, and it was fantastic to see. I was like, yeah, it was veterans against war and all that kind of stuff, And then the one that say it again.
Yeah,
no, I just said yes.
I didn't hear that.
We have an event.
Okay.
Used to fundraise. And then we have the
Is that
June,
the new one that we're about to do?
Yeah. They want us to do it maybe in April, I think May, with the church. There's the event for
Yeah.
Chacha on June 4th. Hopefully, we're going to honor him, and he is going to pass the torch down to Subi.
Mhm.
Um,
The
we have
church is a huge improvement for us too. Like that's going to be our like kind of home base type thing. But that was another thing where Cinthia was talking about like we get kind of a little bit of discrepancy because people are like, "Are y'all a gang?" I don't think we
yeah.
want a gang in my
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
So we had to wait a while to get approval for that. So we're trying to have our first event actually in the church, apparently in May.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Any last minute things? Do you have any like life quotes or advice or any just last minute words?
So can I go?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I want to honestly thank and many blessings to the original Young Lords, Chacha Jimenez, David Rivera Sr., which he's a lot of help. I want to give thanks to most of the women OG in the organization, Denise Oliver Velez, Iris Morales. Back then, they were, top tier women, you know. Um, I want to give Sonia Ivani, Omar Lopez, Panama, um, Tony Baez, Carlos Flores. I mean, this goes on. You know what I mean? I just want to thank them for opening that gateway for us
Yeah.
and, giving us that right hand. Oh, I almost forgot Felipe Luciano, which his son is the head cacique in Florida. I just want to thank all the OGs, and I want to thank Subi and his wife for opening up the organization again and accepting not just Latin people, but accepting all people.
I love that. Yeah, shout out to y'all. Definitely shout out to y'all. And then, of course, I want you all to give you all flowers. Thanks for coming on this platform and speaking on your grief, your experience, your representing for your organization, being women in power, and definitely just coming and showing out. This is also social work month, and one of the core values of social work is social justice. And so, like, you guys align with that, and that's why I have you on the show to represent for the social injustices in the world and the people fighting, but also to for the women that have been in charge and the women who have been making things happen. And then also to giving flowers to the people before you and the people who are going to come after you. So I am definitely looking forward to see all the things you guys are going to do and the growth of the organization. Healing She Got Faith is a huge supporter of y'all. So you guys can come back anytime. You guys have we can definitely do this more often, and also to just know that you have a supporter wherever I'm at. I'm always gonna put on for y'all as well. So thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having us.
you. Of
Thank you
course,
for
of
having us.
Thank you
course.
so much.
Yes. Yes. So tell all your people, Total Entertainment Radio. Monday, 3 p.m. This show will air on the March 21st. Okay. So, all right, y'all. As always, I'm sad to go, but we'll be back next Monday. And always remember to love you the way you love the world. We'll catch you next time. Bye.